Okay.
Okay.
Good morning, Jessie. Thank you for coming in to meet with me.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm okay. I've had some things going on at home.
Yeah, so I got a little bit of information about you and your situation from our team here. At this agency, I'm a social worker, so I can kind of help you navigate your issues, listen to what's going on, maybe advocate for you, give you some tools to work through these things. Um, so I think that we can talk a little bit about, what's and more in depth about what's going on today.
Okay.
Before we get started, I just wanted to talk to you quickly about two things. The first thing is confidentiality. So I want you to just know that the things that you say to me are confidential unless you have a plan to, hurt yourself or hurt somebody else. The majority of what we say is going to be confidential. In some instances where I'm maybe trying to help you connect to a service, or in that situation, I may have to share a little bit of information, but you will always know first. I would never, share your information without your consent. Okay. I also wanted to let you know that I may be taking some notes as we talk. I'm definitely listening to you. It just kind of helps me track the conversation and, better come up with a plan to maybe work on some of these things. Is that okay with you?
Yep.
Okay. So I wanted to start off with maybe talking about your home situation.
Mhm.
That seemed to be a little bit of a red flag on your paperwork. So if you could maybe elaborate on that for me.
Yeah, so I have 3 kids. They're all little. They're all under 5. Um I recently had a physical altercation with my partner at home, and I think at this point it's starting to just make me nervous because it's starting to happen around the kids.
Okay. Okay. How long have you and your partner been together?
About 2 years.
2 years. Okay. Do you live together?
Um, he has his own place, but he is at my house a lot.
Okay. So you're mostly staying together.
Yeah.
What about, so you said you had 3 children under the age of 5.
Mhm.
Um, are these his children, or is there
One of them is his. The
one
other
is
have
his?
2 different
Okay.
dads.
Okay. Okay. What do the children, think of this situation, or how do you think that's impacting them?
I think it makes them really upset. The last time this happened, the oldest one kind of took the others and went into the bedroom away from the situation. And I know they shouldn't have to do that. So,
Right. And that may even too, you say that that they, shouldn't have to do that. That probably or might create a little bit of, unrest with you emotionally as well.
yeah, it does. It makes me really sad to see that they feel unsafe in their home.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So we talked a little bit about how your children may feel.
Mhm.
Can you tell me how you feel about this situation?
It makes me feel really unsafe and really upset because he does this most of the time when he is drinking or right when he gets home from work. Um, so it definitely makes me sad to see the kids in an unsafe situation and to have my kids watching me get hurt.
Mhm. Okay. I've heard you say a few times now, Jessie, that you see the situation as unsafe.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you're ready to remove yourself and your children from this situation?
I think so. I need to find a good way to tell him because that scares me. I feel like that I would put myself in danger if I told him to
Mhm.
his face when I was alone. And I need to find a way to remove the kids without him trying to fight me and keep them there. And um, so I definitely don't want to do it when the kids are there, but I feel safe enough to figure out how to be able to tell him that we're leaving.
Okay. So it sounds like you have already maybe come to the conclusion that your goal is to leave.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is.
And sometimes that is the hardest part emotionally. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that transition and getting you into a, safe and stable place. But
Mhm.
also another big piece is just that emotional part, deciding that you're ready to leave. So,
Yeah. I also, it worries me because we only have one car, which he the majority of the time uses, and I don't have a job right now because of COVID. So that's kind of why I haven't left yet.
okay. More of the resources
Yeah.
are kind of holding you back from what
Mhm.
you feel like you need to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you work before COVID?
I worked at the mall just as,
Okay.
a retail cashier, but um and then I was working full time, and then I dropped down to part time because of COVID, and then when everything closed, I kind of lost my job and they never really hired anyone back. So,
Right. And probably with the childcare too, with everything being shut down with COVID, I'm sure that that may have impacted as well your ability to work.
yeah. Yeah, I had to stay home with the kids, and then the youngest one isn't in school, so I was home with them, and so
Mm, okay. Do you mind me asking what your highest level of education is?
I only have a high school diploma. I
High
never
school
went to
diploma.
college.
Okay. Is that something you feel that you might be interested in?
Um, yeah, I think that I would like that a lot if I could be in a safe environment where that was kind of encouraged, and
Mhm.
I had more time to focus and I didn't have to worry about my safety. I think that that's something I would like to do.
Okay. So it sounds like that diploma could definitely be, a good goal for you, something to strive towards.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything else that you can think of that may be a similar goal?
Definitely getting a job.
Okay.
Getting a job. And hopefully at some point, you know, getting my kids all in school, and then at that point trying to figure out stable housing for myself, that,
Okay.
living on my own and paying my
Right.
own bills and getting a
Mhm.
car.
Okay. Yeah, and it can be tough with some of these goals to figure out, it's almost like who came first, the chicken or the egg, all
Yeah.
of these things are so tied together.
Mhm.
But we can definitely work on a plan so that we
Okay.
can come up with a way to help you meet these goals.
Okay.
Okay. So I know you said a little bit about stable housing.
Mhm.
Um, I'm assuming when you leave that you are not going to be, you're going to be the one leaving your residence now. Is that
Yeah.
correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, is there any certain requirements that you'd like to have for an apartment or a place of
No,
your own?
I think so I have two girls and a boy, so I think if I could at least get a two bedroom so the two girls could maybe share a room, and um I think that that would really be it. And maybe since I don't have a car, maybe in town where the school is.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything that would lead you to need like a handicapped accessible apartment or
I don't
anything
think
like that?
so. Nope.
No. Okay. Just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know you said you're not working. Do you have any other sources of income right now?
So I don't right now. The only income we have right now is my partner's, who is working full time. But other than that, I don't have any other source of income. And we also don't receive any help right now because he makes too much money. So we don't have any assistance with anything
Mhm.
either.
Okay. So based on what you're telling me, when you leave that household, you may be eligible for some of those social programs.
Okay.
Um, I can go over them quickly with you now, but definitely probably in our next session, we'll get more into the specifics and, maybe applying for some of those programs. So
Okay.
to me, it sounds like you might be a good candidate for Section 8. Do you know
Hmm.
anything about that?
I don't.
Okay. So Section 8 is a housing program through the county. And basically, you sign up and you get a voucher to help you pay your rent. Okay.
Okay.
So we can look into places that accept Section 8 as well in our process.
Okay.
Another thing that you might be eligible for, along with housing, is HEAP. So HEAP is a program that will help you pay your utility bills. So that
Okay.
can take a little bit of that extra financial strain off. And then maybe even TANF, it's called. So it's
Mhm.
called Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, which is kind of like a cash assistance.
Okay.
Um, SNAP, or used to be called food stamps. That might be something that we can get you enrolled in,
Okay.
um, just to make sure that you and your family has access to healthy and nutritious foods. So,
Hmm.
like I said, we can go a little bit more in depth with that next time and maybe do some applications. But I just want you to, I don't know, maybe find a little bit comfort knowing that those resources are out there for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. All right. So, as far as actually planning that, intervention where you tell him that, you're ready to leave and, give him whatever kind of terms, do you have any idea of what really your timeline is for that?
Um, I would say I would hope, it could be kind of as soon as possible.
Okay.
Um, maybe like within the next couple weeks, I would like to be in the process of getting out, just because this is
Okay.
happening more and more, and the more it happens, just the more scared the kids get, and
Right.
I think it would be best to get them out as soon as possible.
Right. And it sounds like, things may be escalating now that you've had
Yeah,
that physical altercation.
yeah,
Um, we can definitely set something up maybe within even the next few days,
yeah.
um, to have some support maybe there. We can look into maybe having your kids stay with a relative for the night, or look into that, or maybe even, something that we can do within our agency,
Mhm.
just so that they're not there during that process. Um, and we can also have maybe like an advocate with you, um,
Okay.
when he gets home for work or whenever we decide to plan that actual event out, so that you are safe.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. It's going to be difficult emotionally, and the whole physical process of moving. It's going to be difficult, but we will, help make sure that you and your children are safe.
Yeah.
The
That's
key.
that sounds good. I would like to have someone there with me.
Okay. So we're going to try to do this soon.
Mhm.
But we can also go through, probably not today, but maybe in our next session. I have a whole checklist that we can use, to kind of talk about what happens in those crisis situations.
Mhm.
So that way we can maybe plan. So say if he comes home and he's, aggressive towards you, you already have a plan set in motion of, okay, I'm going to call the cops, or I'm going to call my caseworker or a friend, or, whoever, so that we have that backup plan.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Okay. Um, okay. Yeah, this is a lot of information.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Sounds like you kind of have things coming from you from every direction.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about your stress levels?
Um, Not great right now. They're definitely very high, especially with not being familiar with any of this, or never have, done any of this before. So,
Mhm. Do you have any coping mechanisms that you use when you're stressed out?
sometimes I like to, run, or I'll sing, but there hasn't been much time for that lately. So,
Okay. Okay. Yeah, running is definitely a great way, physical activity. But even if you can just find something maybe that you take joy in, that's, something a 5 minute around the house,
Mhm.
lighting a candle or, something that like that, just to kind of help you out in this tough time. Hopefully we're transitioning towards you being in something more stable, but
Yeah.
still still a little bit of time while you're in there.
Yeah.
Okay. One other thing I wanted to touch on was the vehicle situation.
Mhm.
Can you tell me more? I think you told me a little, but is the car his?
Yeah, so it's his. I purchased it, but it's registered in his name. Um, we did have two vehicles at one point, and then COVID happened and my car had some issues that we couldn't afford to fix, so we just got rid of it. Um, so it's been really hard because he uses the vehicle for work, so that kind of leaves me with nothing all day long every day. So um, that's definitely been challenging.
Yeah, I can imagine. Almost you may almost feel like you're stranded even there,
Yeah,
like you can't leave. I'm
yeah,
sure that's definitely tough to sit with.
yeah.
Um, so we could definitely once we have you into a different living situation, we can look into options for getting you a vehicle.
Okay,
But we can also set you up with public transportation in the meantime.
okay,
There's a couple ways to go about it. There is like specific medical transportation that's usually through like a taxi company.
okay.
But there's also like the bus routes and things like that. And they're kind of a lot to navigate when you first start looking at them, but that's
Mhm.
something that we could sit down and go through together too.
Okay, yeah, that would be really helpful.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about the supports that you have in your life.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, I don't have many. Both my parents are gone. His parents aren't great. Um, I do have, a couple friends, but they don't really come around much. They've never met my kids, so I don't really talk to them much anymore. So I don't really have much support other than, the distant support from the friends that I text once in a while.
Okay. Do you feel that if you reached out, you may find yourself being able to rely on them a little bit more than you do now?
Maybe one of them is kind of flaky, so I probably wouldn't reach out to the one, but the other one probably would definitely be of support and willing to kind of walk beside me when I take
Mm,
this trail.
okay. Does she know about the situation at all?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. Is that something you might feel comfortable sharing with her?
Yeah, I was waiting to talk to her maybe until I had a better plan of what I was gonna do. But now that I know that I think I'm gonna leave, it would be good for me to tell her.
Yeah, I agree. Just having that extra, even if it's just emotional support, um,
Yeah.
that extra person in your life. Um, are you in any like community groups?
No, I didn't really know there was such a thing.
Okay. So I'm thinking that again, once we get you in a more stable situation, we might be able to connect you to some more resources and groups in your community.
Yeah.
Uh, they could turn into a great source of strength for you.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself spiritual at all?
Yeah. I grew up pretty Catholic, so
Okay. Are you interested in being more involved in that community?
yeah, I've never introduced my kids into it, but I think that would be a good opportunity for us.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be great too. A lot of times that is a great source of strength for people.
Mhm.
Not only just the faith itself, but the people in the church and, the different things they may offer, like a food pantry or, services like that,
Yeah,
could be helpful for you to get connected to.
I agree. I think that's a really good idea.
Okay. I want to write that down just so I remember to touch base with that. We have so much going on. It's good to kind of keep track and set some goals.
Yeah.
So to me, it sounds like our first and foremost goal is to, get you and your family out of there safely. Would you be willing to maybe stay in a shelter for a few days?
Yeah, I think that would be much more comfortable than where we are now.
Okay. We can definitely get that set up for you and the family. That will just get you in a safer place so that we can focus on some of these other things. Okay.
Yeah,
So that would be, to me, that seems like the first goal.
I agree.
Okay. So I'm thinking maybe the next goal is the stable housing for you and the kids. Okay.
Yeah.
Stable housing. And then I'm thinking employment.
Yeah.
Okay. And then probably transportation. You have so much going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that you wanted to chat about before we end our session today?
I don't think so. I think that's it. I think that getting us out is a good first step. I think that's really the biggest step we need to feel good again. So
Exactly. I'm glad we spent some time to talk about some of these other things that you're, interested in once you're out of this situation. But
yeah,
it really seems like the first step here is, getting you out and, getting you into the shelter and making sure that you and the family is safe.
yeah, I agree. I think that's a good plan.
Okay. So I'm thinking that we'll set something up for tomorrow to really
Okay.
hammer down on this transition.
Okay.
But
Sounds good.
before we end the call, I want to just make sure that you have all of my contact information in case something happens.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm Margaret. I know I told you at the beginning, but I like to tell people again. And I can give you my phone number if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. So my phone number is 585
Okay.
432 2264.
Okay. Perfect.
And that's actually my work cell. So if something happens later today or tomorrow before we chat, just, give me a shout.
Okay. I will.
For you. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much for meeting with me.
Of course. Thank you for helping me out.
Absolutely. I'm here for you. We're going to get through this together.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.